Definitely giants did exist in the past, and they were the result of a mixture between extraterrestrials and humans.
The discovery of DNA in a tomb believed to belong to Gilgamesh has sent shockwaves through the world of history and mythology. This groundbreaking find challenges our understanding of ancient legends and the line between humans and the divine. Could this evidence link us to extraterrestrial origins or ancient giants? Dive into the epic story of Gilgamesh and the DNA revelation that might just rewrite history. Chapter 1. The Epic of Gilgamesh. Among the ancient tales that have withstood the test of time, the Epic of Gilgamesh stands as a towering literary achievement capturing the imagination of generation after generation. This Mesopotamian epic, inscribed on cuneiform tablets dating back to the 3rd millennium BCE, is a captivating odyssey that delves into the life adventures and profound themes surrounding the legendary king of Uruk, Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh, the central figure of the epic, was a larger-than-life figure whose stature and exploits have been the subject of intense debate and speculation. According to the ancient texts, he was a formidable warrior, a towering figure described as being 17 feet tall, a crossbreed between a mortal and a Mesopotamian goddess endowed with superhuman strength and prowess. The epic portrays Gilgamesh as a complex and multifaceted character, a figure who undergoes a profound transformation from a tyrannical ruler to a courageous hero. In the early stages of his reign, Gilgamesh is depicted as an oppressive king subjecting his people to endless building projects and controlling the marriages of newlywed couples, sowing discontent among his subjects. It is in response to the pleas of his people that the gods create Enkidu, a wild man crafted from clay with the intention of distracting Gilgamesh and curbing his oppressive behavior. However, fate has other plans as Gilgamesh and Enkidu form an unbreakable bond, embarking on a series of adventures that would shape the course of their world. Their first great quest takes them deep into the cedar forest ruled by the fearsome demigod Humbaba. Despite numerous warnings of Humbaba's strength, Gilgamesh's thirst for fame and glory propels them forward, and with the aid of the sun god Shamash, they confront and ultimately defeat the monstrous guardian, solidifying Gilgamesh's reputation as a mighty warrior and catching the attention of the gods themselves. Yet their defiance comes at a cost, and the gods decree that one of the two friends must pay the ultimate price. Tragically, it is Enkidu who is chosen, succumbing to a grave illness and ultimately perishing, leaving Gilgamesh devastated and forced to confront the harsh reality of mortality. Enkidu's death sets Gilgamesh on a monumental quest for immortality, a journey that takes him to the ends of the earth in search of Utnapishtim, the sole survivor of the Great Flood and the bearer of eternal life. Along the way, Gilgamesh faces formidable challenges, traversing vast mountains, encountering the terrifying Scorpion Man and his consort, and navigating the treacherous waters of death. This description of Gilgamesh's physical attributes and strength, combined with his mythical lineage, has fueled the ongoing debate surrounding his existence. Was he a real historical figure who walked the earth, or was he a mythical construct, a product of the fertile imagination of the ancient Sumerians? Chapter 2. The Rediscovery of Uruk, the birthplace of civilization. In modern-day southern Iraq, the sands hold the secrets of Uruk, an ancient wonder and a beacon of human ingenuity. This legendary city once pulsed with life in the heart of Mesopotamia, a region that forever changed the course of history. Mesopotamia, the land cradled between the rivers, saw the birth of our earliest cities, the dawn of writing, and the rise of empires. Uruk's stories faded over centuries, its grandeur becoming the stuff of legend. Yet, in the 19th century, explorers and archaeologists, driven by relentless curiosity, sought to unearth its past, to piece together the fragments of its legacy. In 1849, the British archaeologist William Loftus made a groundbreaking discovery when he identified a large mound near the village of Warka as the potential site of Uruk. Although his initial excavations were limited, the inscriptions he uncovered confirmed his suspicions, setting the stage for further exploration by others. It was the German Oriental Society, however, that truly unveiled the majesty of Uruk to the world. Obtaining a license from the Ottoman Empire in 1912, a team led by Julius Jordan embarked on a systematic excavation that would yield an extraordinary trove of artifacts and architectural wonders, painting a vivid picture of a civilization that had reached unprecedented heights of sophistication and cultural advancement. From the iconic White Temple and the towering Anu Ziggurat to the intricate Uruk vase and the Inanna complex, each discovery offered a tantalizing glimpse into the world of ancient Mesopotamia. But perhaps the most tantalizing find of all was the thousands of clay tablets unearthed amidst the ruins, inscribed with cuneiform writing and containing fragments of the very epic that had captured the world's imagination, the Epic of Gilgamesh. As excavations continued punctuated by the ravages of war and political turmoil, the city of Uruk slowly revealed its secrets, shedding light on the birthplace of writing, urban planning, and monumental architecture. It was here within the walls of this ancient metropolis that the foundations of human civilization were laid and the legend of Gilgamesh took root, his exploits forever etched into the tapestry of history. Chapter 3. Austen Henry Layard's Excavations in Nineveh. While Uruk may have been the birthplace of Gilgamesh, it was amidst the crumbling ruins of Nineveh, the last great capital of the Assyrian Empire, that the most complete version of the Epic of Gilgamesh was rediscovered. This remarkable journey can be traced back to the groundbreaking excavations of Austen Henry Layard, a British archaeologist whose pioneering work in the 19th century would forever change our understanding of the ancient Near East. In 1849, Layard embarked on an expedition that would lead him to Nineveh, located in present-day northern Iraq. Buried beneath the desert sands lay the remains of the library of Ashurbanipal, a 7th century BCE Assyrian king renowned for his passion for collecting literary works from across the ancient world. It was here that Layard made a discovery that would capture the imagination of scholars for generations to come. Among the trove of clay tablets unearthed from Ashurbanipal's library, Layard found a fragmentary account that immediately piqued his curiosity. It was a large tablet covered in the intricate cuneiform script, containing what appeared to be a narrative of some kind. Unbeknownst to Layard at the time, this tablet was a mere fragment of the Epic of Gilgamesh, a literary masterpiece that had been lost to the ages. Over the following years, Layard's team uncovered more than 15,000 additional fragments of similar tablets, each bearing a piece of the epic's narrative. These fragments, meticulously collected and shipped back to the British Museum in London, set in motion a decades-long effort to decipher and translate the ancient cuneiform script, unlocking the secrets of the Epic of Gilgamesh for the modern world. Chapter 4. Deciphering the Cuneiform. The dusty fragments of cuneiform tablets unearthed from the ruins of ancient Mesopotamia. A singular figure emerges as the key to unlocking the secrets of the Epic of Gilgamesh. George Smith, a self-taught scholar whose passion and perseverance would forever change our understanding of the ancient world. Born in 1840 to a working-class family in London, Smith's journey into the realm of antiquities was an unlikely one. Leaving school at the tender age of 14, he found employment as an engraver of banknotes, a profession far removed from the world of archaeological discovery. Yet, fate had other plans for this unassuming young man. As news of the groundbreaking excavations in Iraq began to spread, Smith found himself captivated by the tantalizing reports of strange, indecipherable artifacts older than any on record being unearthed. Driven by an insatiable curiosity, he began to frequent the hallowed halls of the British Museum during his lunch breaks and spare time, slowly but surely teaching himself the ancient languages and scripts that had baffled scholars for centuries. It was in 1866 that the museum staff, intrigued by the presence of this enigmatic young man haunting their archives, offered Smith a position. If he truly wished to become a translator, he would start with the 15,000 fragments discovered by none other than Austen Henry Layard himself. For years, Smith toiled relentlessly, his dedication unwavering as the wedge-shaped characters of cuneiform gradually began to reveal their secrets. In 1872, his breakthrough moment arrived as he uncovered a fragment containing a flood story eerily reminiscent of the biblical tale of Noah's Arkansas. Smith's findings sent shockwaves through the academic and theological circles of Europe, with many proclaiming that this ancient flood narrative confirmed the truth of the biblical account. Yet Smith's quest was far from over. In 1875, he published his most seminal work, a full translation of the fragments he had painstakingly deciphered, the Epic of Gilgamesh, the oldest story ever written down. Tragically, Smith's life was cut short in 1876 when he succumbed to illness at the age of 36. However, his legacy endures, for it was his groundbreaking work that laid the foundation for our exploration of the ancient world, unveiling a literary masterpiece that would captivate audiences across generations and cultures. Chapter 5. The Tomb of Gilgamesh. Fast forward to 2003, Jörg Fassbender, a geophysicist from the Bavarian Department of Historical Monuments, announced that his team uncovered a potential tomb of Gilgamesh near the ancient city of Uruk. This tomb, he asserted, matched descriptions found in the Epic of Gilgamesh. Fassbender's team detected a large structure approximately 490 feet long and 390 feet wide within the former Euphrates riverbed, just outside the city's walls. This structure, he believed, aligned with the epic's portrayal of Gilgamesh's burial site. The epic recounts how, upon his death, the people of Uruk mourned their king and diverted the mighty Euphrates River. This act revealed a natural vault where Gilgamesh was buried with treasures befitting his status. After the burial, the river was allowed to return to its original course, concealing the tomb. The revelation sparked a whirlwind of reactions, with excitement clashing against skepticism. Elizabeth Stone, an archaeologist from Stony Brook University, emerged as a prominent critic, labeling Fassbender's claim ridiculous and irresponsible. She argued that the Epic of Gilgamesh intertwines myth and reality, leading to inconsistencies regarding the location and nature of the tomb in various tellings of the story. Despite the criticism, Fassbender remained undeterred. He asserted his team had uncovered structures and artifacts that corresponded to the descriptions in the epic, including gardens, fields, houses, and a sophisticated canal system, reminiscent of Venice in the desert. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. In 2018, an extraordinary event unfolded along the Euphrates River as one bank dried up, revealing a riverbed hidden for millennia. This change presented archaeologists, including Dr. Zahab al-Ali from the University of Baghdad and Dr. David Hawkins from the University of Oxford, with a unique chance to explore previously inaccessible areas. Their efforts led to the discovery of a massive ancient structure, and further excavation unearthed a colossal stone sarcophagus. Measuring 20 feet in length, 6.5 feet in width, and 5 feet in height, the sarcophagus was decorated with cuneiform inscriptions and reliefs depicting scenes from the Epic of Gilgamesh. Most notably, the name Bilgames, the Sumerian term for Gilgamesh, was inscribed on the stone. The true astonishment arose from the DNA analysis of the remains found within. The results showed traces of both Neanderthal and ancient Iraqi lineage, sparking speculation about the sarcophagus being the final resting place of the legendary hero Gilgamesh. This finding has left the scientific community and the world in awe, pondering the implications of such a discovery. Could this indeed be the burial site of the famed ancient king? Share your thoughts in the comments. Chapter 6: The Gilgamesh Bible Connection. In the vast tapestry of human civilization, few literary works have resonated across cultures and generations as profoundly as the Epic of Gilgamesh and biblical narratives. These ancient texts, separated by thousands of years and vast distances, share striking similarities that have captivated scholars and laypeople alike, hinting at the possibility of shared traditions and cross-cultural connections that transcend the boundaries of time and space. One of the most striking parallels can be found in the flood narratives that permeate both the Epic of Gilgamesh and the Book of Genesis. In the epic, the story of the Great Flood is recounted through the tale of Utnapishtim, a righteous man chosen by the gods to construct an ark and preserve life in the face of a cataclysmic deluge. This narrative bears a striking resemblance to the biblical account of Noah's Ark, where a virtuous Noah is instructed by God to build an ark and gather pairs of every living creature to weather the impending flood. Both stories depict the release of birds to determine the receding of the floodwaters, the eventual landing of the arks on a mountain, and the offering of sacrifices to appease the divine forces that had unleashed the deluge. The striking parallels between these narratives have fueled debates among scholars, with some suggesting that the biblical account may have been influenced by or even derived from the earlier Mesopotamian version. Another intriguing connection can be found in the stories of the Garden of Eden and the transition of Enkidu from a wild man to a civilized being in the Epic of Gilgamesh. The biblical account describes the creation of Adam and Eve and their expulsion from the Garden of Eden after succumbing to the temptation of the forbidden fruit, leading to their newfound awareness of mortality and the acquisition of knowledge. In the epic, Enkidu underwent a similar transformation, being seduced by the temple priestess Shamhat and introduced to the ways of civilization, including the consumption of bread and wine, the wearing of clothes, and the adherence to societal laws. This process also leads to Enkidu's estrangement from the natural world and the realization of his own mortality, echoing the themes of the biblical narrative. These parallels have sparked debates among scholars, with some suggesting that the biblical story may be a critique or reinterpretation of the Mesopotamian tale, offering a different perspective on human nature, divine will, and the acquisition of knowledge. While the connections between the Epic of Gilgamesh and the biblical narratives are undeniable, their interpretation and significance remain a subject of ongoing scholarly discourse. Some see these shared stories as evidence of a common cultural heritage or the transmission of ideas across ancient civilizations, while others view them as independent expressions of universal human experiences and inquiries into the nature of existence, mortality, and our relationship with the divine. Regardless of the lens through which these connections are viewed, their enduring resonance serves as a testament to the power of storytelling and the ability of ancient narratives to transcend temporal and cultural boundaries, weaving a tapestry of shared human experiences that continue to captivate and inspire generations of readers and scholars alike. Chapter 7. The Gilgamesh Enigma. The recent discoveries surrounding the tomb of the legendary Gilgamesh have challenged our perceptions of ancient narratives, forcing us to reevaluate the boundaries between myth and fact. The artifacts and inscriptions unearthed from the tomb's chambers offer tantalizing clues that Gilgamesh may have been more than a mere figment of imagination. Could it be that the ancient Sumerians, in their quest to understand the world around them and the fundamental truths of human existence, wove a tapestry of myth and legend that was rooted in the lives and deeds of real historical figures? This enigmatic interplay between myth and reality is not unique to the Epic of Gilgamesh. Throughout human history, cultures across the globe have grappled with the same conundrum, using myth and storytelling as a means of preserving and transmitting the collective experiences, values, and beliefs of their societies. The lines between fact and fiction blur, challenging us to reconsider the nature of truth and the ways in which we perceive the world around us. At its core, the epic is a profound exploration of the universal truths that have captivated and perplexed humanity since the dawn of civilization: the nature of mortality, the quest for meaning, the enduring bonds of friendship, and the intricate relationship between the mortal and the divine. Gilgamesh's quest for immortality resonates with our own desperate yearning to cheat death and prolong our existence, while his mourning for his beloved friend Enkidu confronts us with the harsh reality of loss and the fragility of the bonds that sustain us. The epic delves into the fundamental human struggles with existential questions that have plagued humankind throughout the ages. Chapter 8. The Hidden Place of the Anunnaki. While Fassbender's theory of Gilgamesh's burial within Uruk once seemed possible and rooted in research, a captivating alternative has cast a shadow over its certainty. Andrew George, a renowned professor of Babylonian at the University of London and respected expert on the epic, has put forward a compelling hypothesis. He suggests the legendary king might rest not in his famed city but instead within the Syrian city of Raqqa. This idea, born of careful textual analysis and a deep understanding of Mesopotamian history, has resonated with scholars, sparking curiosity and debate within the field. The foundation of George's theory lies in the analysis of an ancient clay tablet fragment predating known versions of the epic. This fragment, held in a private London collection, contains a unique line: "He crossed the sea, the broad sea, the waters of death." This seemingly simple phrase, a whisper from the distant past, led George down a path of discovery. His research revealed the ancient term for this mythical sea to be the Balik River, a tributary of the Euphrates in northern Syria. Along the Balika's winding banks lies Raqqa, a name that struck a chord with George, echoing through the annals of history. Through careful study of Assyrian sources, George connected Raqqa to the ancient city of Rihi, a place of profound religious significance. Intriguingly, he believes Rihi may also be the biblical Rehoboth, one of the cities founded by Nimrod. This legendary figure, the great-grandson of Noah, is often connected to the Gilgamesh legend, his own exploits perhaps woven into the tapestry of the epic itself. George proposes that it might be in Raqqa, the ancient Rihi, where Nimrod or perhaps a figure who inspired the tales of Gilgamesh built his tomb. He theorizes that this tomb, due to Rihi's religious importance, may be the same place revered by the Assyrians as the hidden place of the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki, those powerful and enigmatic gods of the Mesopotamian underworld, hold immense sway in the region's belief systems. This connection is intriguing, as ancient astronaut and alien theorist proponents suggest the Anunnaki were not merely mythical deities but extraterrestrial beings who interacted with humanity in the distant past. If true, Gilgamesh's potential resting place could take on an entirely new dimension, hinting at a legacy influenced by otherworldly forces. Naturally, George's theory faces both interest and skepticism. Some scholars question his interpretation of the textual evidence, while others point out the immense logistical challenges of conducting research in a region marred by conflict. Despite these hurdles, George maintains the validity of his hypothesis. Chapter 9. The DNA Revelation. Scientists just sequenced the DNA of Gilgamesh the giant and they were shocked. Genetic research has made a breakthrough that challenges how we view human evolution. This finding might also explain why the Epic of Gilgamesh describes Gilgamesh as part god, part human. The catalyst for this revelation lies in the groundbreaking work of Svante Pääbo, an award-winning geneticist whose pioneering research first revealed that humans and Neanderthals were distinct species that diverged from one another approximately 500,000 years ago. However, Pääbo's subsequent findings unveiled a startling truth: evidence of interbreeding between these two separate lineages. According to Pääbo's research, between 1% and 4% of the genome of modern humans of European or Asian descent can be traced back to the Neanderthals, our evolutionary cousins who thrived across Europe and Asia until their extinction around 40,000 years ago. Corroborating Pääbo's findings is the work of Dr. John Hawkes, a professor of anthropology at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and a leading researcher in the field of ancient DNA. Hawkes' studies have revealed that the rate of positive selection, the increase in the frequency of beneficial genetic variants, in the past 5,000 years has been approximately 100 times higher than any other period of human evolution, suggesting that humans have exchanged genes with other extinct hominin species. These revelations have profound implications for our understanding of human origins and evolution, but also offer a tantalizing explanation for the part human, part divine nature ascribed to Gilgamesh in the epic. Could the ancient Sumerians have encountered and interbred with a non-human entity, perhaps even an extraterrestrial species, resulting in the birth of Gilgamesh, a being endowed with superhuman abilities and a divine lineage? While such a notion may seem fanciful, it is worth noting that the Epic of Gilgamesh itself is replete with references to the Anaki, a group of deities believed by the ancient Sumerians to have descended from the heavens, bestowing advanced knowledge and technology upon humankind. Could these Anunnaki have been advanced extraterrestrial beings, their interactions with early humans resulting in the birth of hybrid offspring like Gilgamesh? Or were they simply the product of ancient mythological traditions, their exploits woven into the tapestry of the epic as a means of explaining the inexplicable? As intriguing as these theories may be, they remain speculative, existing at the fringes of mainstream scientific discourse. But our understanding of the past is ever evolving, and the boundaries between myth and reality may be more blurred than we ever imagined. Chapter 10. Tomb and the U.S. Invasion. In the early years of the 21st century, the Middle East became a powder keg of conflict and chaos as the United States launched a military invasion of Iraq, codenamed Operation Iraqi Freedom. This decisive action, which toppled the regime of Saddam Hussein, would have far-reaching consequences that extended beyond the realm of geopolitics, casting a long shadow over the archaeological treasures and historical sites that had long been the subject of intense scholarly interest. As the American military swiftly established a presence throughout the region, a shroud of secrecy and controversy descended upon the excavation sites and historical treasures that had long been the subject of intense scholarly interest. The echoes of war reverberated across the land, disrupting ongoing archaeological efforts and threatening to erase the very fabric of Iraq's rich cultural heritage. Among the sites caught in the maelstrom of conflict was the very location where Uruk Fassbender, the German geophysicist, had made his startling claim of discovering the tomb of Gilgamesh near the ancient city of Uruk. As the echoes of war reverberated across the land, Fassbender and his team were forced to abandon their work abruptly, leaving behind a trove of unanswered questions and unfinished excavations. In the chaos that ensued, reports began to emerge of military personnel engaging in unauthorized excavation activities at the site, fueling speculation about the nature of their findings and the potential removal of artifacts, including the skeletal remains believed to be those of Gilgamesh himself. The implications of such actions were profound, casting doubt on the integrity of the site and raising concerns about the fate of the archaeological treasures that may have been uncovered. If indeed the tomb had been breached and its contents removed, it would leave a gaping void in our understanding of the ancient world and the legacy of Gilgamesh, a figure whose significance transcended the boundaries of myth and history. The controversy surrounding the Gilgamesh site was further compounded by the events that unfolded at the National Museum of Iraq in Baghdad. Despite being forewarned about the museum's cultural significance and the priceless artifacts housed within its walls, the U.S. military failed to provide adequate protection, leading to widespread looting and the loss of irreplaceable antiquities. As the international community cried out in outrage, disturbing testimonies emerged alleging that before the civilian looters descended upon the museum, Specialized U.S. military units had already entered the premises and meticulously removed entire vaults of artifacts, raising questions about the true motivations behind these actions and the fate of the stolen relics. In the aftermath of the looting, the U.S. government responded by assembling a team of specialists from the CIA, FBI, and U.S. Immigration and Customs Services, led by Colonel Matthew Bogdanos, a Marine commander with a degree in classical studies from Columbia University. Their mission was to investigate the site and recover any artifacts that had been stolen or removed. As Bogdanos and his team delved into the concealed underground chambers of the museum, they made a chilling discovery. While some artifacts had clearly been looted, the empty boxes and decoy pieces that had been strategically placed alongside priceless works had been left untouched. This led Bogdanos to a disturbing conclusion. It was immediately clear that these thieves knew what they were looking for and where to look. The allegations surrounding the removal of artifacts from the Gilgamesh site and the National Museum of Uruk have cast a long shadow over the archaeological legacy of the region, raising questions about the true motives behind the invasion and the extent to which cultural heritage was sacrificed in the pursuit of other agendas.